Hello there and welcome to Move with James. This is a chair-based, gentle, wake-up morning movement sequence. If you're at a point in life where standing up to practice, to move, doesn't feel so good in your body for whatever reason, or maybe you have an injury or some sort of condition or consideration that you're working with mindfully and gently, chair-based practice might be really helpful and hopefully enjoyable for you. We're going to set up in the chair. I'm going to show you how. And we'll wake up slowly with gentle seated movement to create a sense of well-being, gentle strength and graceful fluid movement. I hope that sounds good to you. Let's begin. So, let's set up with the chair. I've chosen a chair which has a wide base and a strong back. Take a moment to grab one now. Just avoid anything that has wheels or that swivels around. What I want to show you is two ways of sitting. If you have spinal injury or anything which means it's difficult to sit at the front of the seat, you might explore this practice sat with the back supported, or come forwards and then come back when you need to take rest in your back. I'll offer a few options and modifications as we go. Otherwise, I'd recommend coming to sit a little bit towards the front of the chair where your back is free and you use a little bit of back strength to sit tall if that feels comfortable for you. One thing to look out for when setting up for chair-based practice is that your knees aren't higher than your hips. That's going to make it really hard to feel comfortable. So if you find that your chair is too low, I'd recommend bringing some cushions to sit up on so that your knee is at least the same height as your hip or a tiny bit lower. Feel free to pause this video now and check that setup, and then we'll begin. So once you have your chair, let's come to sit. And I'm going to sit a little bit to the front edge. My back is feeling good today. Some days it doesn't. If yours isn't feeling so good, maybe sit towards the back and see how you can modify the movements. Let's place the feet a little bit wider than the hips, flat on the floor. You can turn them out a little bit here. From here, we're going to rest the hands on the thighs for a moment and take a few deep, calming wake-up breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out through your mouth to begin. You can close your eyes if it feels good. Imagine exhaling anything which is stagnant or stale from the lungs. Breathe in a sense of freshness. And breathe out anything which feels foggy or cloudy or heavy. Begin to open your eyes. From here, follow my hand movements. I'm going to bring my hands a little bit in front of me. I'm going to cross the wrists. I'm going to circle the arms up and over. Just floating the arms above the knees. As you cross the wrists, you might inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, soften through the elbows and the hands, drawing big circles in front of the legs. Remember, if you're sitting in the back of the chair, just follow the movement and modify it as you need to get the general sense of it. If you're sat towards the front of the chair like me, as you breathe in, lift your chest. There's a moment of your back strengthening and the chest opening, and then releasing down. Let's take two more. Here we're waking up the heart and the lungs. We're waking up the back of the body, bringing strength and vitality inwards. Release the hands down. Step your feet a little bit closer. From here, take your hands to the edges of the chair and very gently, could you side bend by dropping the right hand down a little bit. I'm holding the chair with the left hand, so sliding down and then sliding back up. Let's repeat that. Gentle side bend. Hold on where you need to. You can also, depending on your chair, walk the hand up and down the chair leg a bit. Bringing small, simple movements in. Let's change sides. Side bending. And keep the head level in the middle. And if you're wondering about the breathing, I just recommend deep, slow, natural breaths. Okay, from here as you come back, we're going to take the feet wider now, wider than the shoulders, probably wider than your chair. Place your hands on top of your thighs and your knees. We're going to very slowly lean forwards, keeping the back nice and straight, bend the elbows, press into the hands. And then use your hands to push back up. It's a bit like a push-up, right? Do that a couple more times. So we're waking up the chest muscles and the arms here, leaning forwards as far as feels good in your body. Push into the hands like a push-up, come back up. And as we repeat this, seeing if you can keep the spine feeling long in its natural curves. So I'm not rounding my back yet. Again, we're strengthening through chest and arms, but also through the back. It's really useful to strengthen and wake up the spine at the start of the day in gentle ways that aren't extreme. One more time. And now from here, come to sit up. We're going to gently round the spine and fold forwards between the legs. If you have any herniation or slipped discs at the moment, I'm going to invite you to keep the spine straight, lean forwards, maybe come onto the elbows here. If your spine is feeling pretty okay, we're going to slowly drop the chin, round the back. So if my spine's feeling okay, I'm rounding my back, curling down. I might rest my elbows on my knees. If that still feels good, I might even bring my fingertips down my ankles or onto the floor, hanging between the legs with my back round. Let's take 3 or 4 deep breaths here. Only go as far as feels good in your body right now. Keep your head nice and dropped. So rounding the back here, stretching out. And then slowly coming back up. So from here, we're going to take a little side twist. So can you swing your legs over to the right? So follow me. Right foot is facing the side of your mat. And your left leg can come out to the side. I'm going to hold the side of the chair and the back of the chair here. Option 1, breathe here. Lift your chest and turn to face that right leg. Option 2, you might straighten that left leg out behind you somewhere, maybe even pressing the foot into the ground. And this is more easy if you're at the front of the mat. So I'm going to press into that back leg. I'm going to lift my chest and square my shoulders to face my right knee. So I'm kind of in what we might call a warrior 2 position in yoga here. Chest up, legs pressing into the ground, feet pressing into the ground. I'm searching for a lift of the spine, a gentle twist in the spine. And if my back leg is straight, I'm getting a big stretch through the hip. Let's take one more breath. And now from here, wherever you are, support yourself on your chair. And very gently, you might fold forwards towards that right leg. And then gently come back up. Fold forwards towards the right leg. Gently come back up. One more time. This time as we come up, we're going to bring the feet back into center. Let's all sit back into the chair for a moment. Let's rest the back. And so we're now going to take a little side bend, sitting back in the chair using the back support. Slide the hand down to the left. You can use your other hand for a little support here. And then gently come back up to center. See if the shoulders could be settled down as we slide to the other side. Support where you need to. But as you come back up into the center, still sit tall in the back of your chair, keeping your spine feeling nice and long and spacious. We'll go one more time. And then coming back into center. So let's take that warrior 2 on the other leg. You can gently turn your left foot out this time to the side, maybe using side of the chair for support. You can step your right foot out so you get deep stretch in the hip, or maybe even taking that right leg a little bit further back, straightening it. It's quite strong, this one. And then lift your chest and turn your chest to face the same direction as your bent knee. You could breathe in and press into the feet. Breathe out, let the shoulders settle down. One more. Then if it feels good in your body, on your next breath out, gently folding forwards, supporting yourself on the leg or the chair. Inhale, lift back up. And again, folding forwards. Just using your hands where you need to, getting movement through the spine and a nice big hip stretch. Okay, we're going to come back up and come back into center. Then you might choose to come forward to the edge of the seat here. From here, I'm going to take my hands behind me on the chair for support. You could use the edge or you could use the back. And then follow me. Could you straighten both legs out in front of you? I'm sitting quite close to the edge of the chair. And then bend your right knee, and can you bring the foot onto your left shin? So it's going to work the hip a little bit. It's surprisingly tricky, this. I'm going to press the foot and the leg together. Maybe I could take the foot up a little bit higher. This is going to strengthen my inner thighs. Then I'm in tree pose, but on the chair. Using my hands for support. Press the foot and the leg together. Let's hold for 3 more breaths. 2. And 1. From here, slowly release. Bend the left knee. And now, optionally, cross the right ankle over the left knee. If that feels too much, straighten the leg and bring the ankle over the shin. If your knee is high, use the hands behind you, sit tall, with the option to fold forwards here. Maybe the hands behind you, or maybe gently holding the knee and the foot, getting a deep hip stretch now. This is like seated pigeon. Again, you don't have to go as low as this. You might be up a little bit higher. Really just looking to find a stretch to the outside of that right hip and a little bit of length through the spine. Okay, let's slowly come back up. Use your hands for support, and let's take tree pose on the other leg. Legs straight out in front. You might not be able to see my feet, but here comes the left foot. So again, left foot could rest on the shin. This is going to strengthen and stretch the muscles around the hip at the same time. Maybe you take the foot a little bit higher, allowing the knee to drop out until you feel a stretch here in the groin. I'm lifting my chest tall, so my arms and my back are working. 2 more breaths. Tree pose, feeling rooted, but with the hip opening out to the side. Okay, and then let's come back. Once again, we're going to cross that same ankle either over the shin and lean forwards, or maybe all the way up to the knee and then leaning forwards. If you are leaning forwards, you could support the hand on the knee if you're in this higher up position. If your ankle is a little bit lower, it's going to require a bit of strength to stay there, right? But keep sending the knee down gently towards the ground. 3 more breaths. 2. 1. Slowly come back up. Then once again, let's sit back into the back of the chair. We're going to fold forwards over the thighs. Bring the knees in. You can use the hands for support. We're going to fold forwards, maybe resting the belly on the thighs, maybe resting your elbows. If you've got lots of space, take the feet a little bit wider, and you might even hang down between the legs. If you're coming low, you could catch the ankles or even the chair legs, but not using them to pull, just using them to rest. Let's take 2 more deep breaths wherever you are. And then gently release. Slowly come back up. Okay, from here, I'm going to turn side on. So now turn sideways in your chair. So your knees are facing to the right. And wiggle up close to the back of the chair. I'm going to rest one hand on the chair back, and then with the feet flat, circling out the arm at the sides, this should be the left arm, take a big circle. And at first, allow your chest to turn a little bit with the arm, like a windmill. But then now could you square the chest towards the front, so you move just the shoulder. It's going to be a little bit more challenging. Thinking about not turning the chest, but drawing a beautiful big circle in the sky. I sometimes imagine, a bit weirdly, that my fingertips are paintbrushes and I'm painting a big watercolor circle with the fingertips. Let's do one more. And now from here, take both hands to the back of the chair. Can you press down into the feet and sit tall in the spine? We're going to gently turn to face the back of the chair. You could walk your hands around if you want a deeper twist, but we're turning and twisting through the spine. Keep the feet flat if it's possible. Keep the spine tall and breathe in the twist. If you like little details, sometimes that right shoulder comes up by your ear. See if you could drop it down, maybe even catch the hand a little bit lower somewhere. Take one more big inhale. One exhale, gently release, coming to the side. And then we're going to swivel the hips in the other direction. Again, wiggle up close to the side of the chair. Sit nice and tall. And then circling the right arm this time. Of course, if it's difficult to sit tall, you can use your hand or the side of the body on the back of the chair. Turning the chest a little bit each time to begin. Watercolor fingers. And now square the shoulders to face the knees, moving just from the shoulder itself. You probably won't be able to turn the arm as much. Just finding a degree of rotation that works for you. One more. Okay, now let's breathe in, sit tall, take hold of the back of the chair. As you breathe out, press the feet down and turn. This could be gentle or it could be very deep. Depends what feels good. Never push into pain or push into strong discomfort. A little moderate discomfort is inevitable as we stretch and release, but keeping it mild. Maybe dropping that left shoulder a little bit, catching somewhere, turning. Let's take 2 big breaths here. And then slowly, gently come back to center. I'm going to turn my chair sideways so you can see the last movement. You can stay as you are. That was nifty. So just moving towards a little bit of a back bend here. So come to sit forwards a little bit. Use the hands either on the seat behind you or on the back of the chair somewhere. And could you lift your chest and look up? Then as you exhale, relax a little bit. Just little back bends. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. And come back. Now you could repeat this a few more times or you could hold at the top if it feels good. And then optionally, if you've got a lot of space here, if you feel you can arch a little bit more, you could even, depending on how high the back of your chair is, rest the elbows or the hands behind you. Press down to the chair back and puff the chest up. 3 more breaths, whether you're moving or in stillness with me. 2. And 1, gently release. And then following me, gently lower the chest, rest into the hands. And come up. Do the same, but a little bit more over to the right leg. Fold forwards a little bit towards the right leg. Come back up. And fold forwards a little bit to the left leg, a little bit to the side. As you come back to sit, wiggle your hips back into the back of the chair. And then one last time, take the feet a little bit wider, hands on the knees. And follow me, turn to the right, gently lower down the chest, and then can you sweep to the other side? Slowly come up through the middle, and let's repeat one more time, little semicircle. And then change direction 2 times. Just seeing what you could free up in the lower back, create a little bit of space for going gently. We'll come back to center. You can sit back in the chair now if you're not there already. And for a moment, rest the feet flat, rest the hands on your thighs. Let's pause and breathe here. Deep breaths into the lower belly. Let's take one final arm movement here. Rest your hands just to float above the knees. Follow me. As you breathe in, lift the hands just as high as feels good. And exhale, gently float the hands down. My elbows are bent. My hands are soft like little clouds. Exhale, hands floating down. Deep inhale, floating up. It's like the arms are like the waves of the sea. It's like a final moving meditation, inviting a sense of fluidity, like water, into the body, to the mind. Just gently rest the hands down. If it feels good, you could rest the hands at the front of your body or palms together if that calls to you. Let's take one final deep breath in. Close your eyes. Deep, calming breath out. And sense into how you feel in body, heart, and mind. And then opening the eyes. So we'll close here. Thank you for joining me for this short little practice in the chair. I'd love to know what worked for you, what didn't work for you, and if there's anything that you're working with in your body at the moment, really exploring gently and mindfully what movements feel good, feel like they're helpful. And if something doesn't feel good, doesn't feel helpful, then maybe not taking that movement or not going into it as strongly. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you've not subscribed to my channel already, please do. It really helps me out. I'm bringing out new videos every couple of weeks to support wherever you are in your practice. Until next time, thank you.